Hi, this is Isaac Clark in the 9 o'clock class of Computer Science 110 with Mr. Wellman. This is extra credit number 8, the last one. And, right, let's get into it, I suppose. And, first function is the function that you actually gave us is prime. Checks if it's prime. Pretty handy. So I wrote the function find pairs, which is going to find a pair of prime numbers that are 2 apart, and takes the argument n, which is what the number it should go up to. So we've got a for loop here that'll take x for x in range 1 and 2. So it goes, doesn't hit any even numbers. And if it's prime, then it goes in the primes. So we've got a list of all the prime numbers between 1 and n. So then we have prime pairs, which takes x and x plus 2, which is what we want for x in primes if x plus 2 is in primes. So, if x plus 2 and x, the prime pair, are in primes, then it'll add it to the prime pairs and return prime pairs. And then we've got the function display pairs, which finds the pairs, so it says prime pairs. And then we've got another for loop here for printed in range 0, the length of prime pairs, and it jumps 5 every time. So it'll print prime pairs and how many it starts at wherever it's printed from, and go until 5. It'll just print 5 more. And that works here. Let's run it. Right here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then the remainder right here. Then we've got finds the sum of pairs. N is the stopping point. Start and stop are where to start finding the sum and where to stop finding the sum. So prime pairs, we find the pairs. Sums is 0. That's a sum accumulator right there. Then ranged pairs is another for loop. We got x for x. It goes through the prime pairs, and if the first value of x, the smaller value, is more than start, then it gets added to ranged pairs. So it starts when the values are greater than the starting value. Then we have sums is another for loop. We've got the sum of a pair in the ranged pairs right here that we just got. If the larger of the pair is less than the stopping value. So kind of the inverse of this one right here. Then it returns the sum of all these sums of the pairs. And that's 488. And then finally we have the function check gap. So we have the gap, we've initialized it at 0, then we find the prime pairs, and we have a for loop right here that goes through prime pairs and another prime pairs, but this prime pair starts at the second value. So it'll be checking the first value and the second value at the same time. So this is when it says I1, that's the second value. The first value in the second list minus the second value in the first list. So this should be larger than this, or the same. And if that's more than gap, which right now is 0, then it'll initialize gap as that. and it goes through the whole loop, or the whole list, and returns the biggest gap. Yeah, and that's it.